One of the top questions I get asked on a regular basis is, how do I get rid of this? My stomach, my gut, my belly. How do I get this area flat and back to where I want it to be? Well, let's talk about that today. My name is Dawn. I'm with New Dawn Exercise Therapy, and I've worked with so many people in the past and currently who are always struggling with how to get rid of just that little bit of extra. And we find strategies that work for them. So I want to share with you my top 6 tips today that'll help you decrease that belly. The first one is greatly consider decreasing your alcohol intake. If you're somebody who likes your wine on a regular basis, or your bourbon or your whiskey or your beer, that's probably going to have to get greatly decreased, if not eliminated. And I know people do not like for me to say that, but let's think about it. The first place that alcohol calories usually go is the belly, the gut. That's just been proven by science. And it's a lot of calories in just a small little intake. Think about what a shot glass looks like. That is one serving of, say, whiskey or bourbon or a hard liqueur. Wine, you go out and you get a glass of wine, they are not following that 5-ounce pour. It is probably more like double, because I tried it a few weeks ago. I'm like, what does a 5-ounce pour really look like? And I measured it out and I poured it in my glass, and it is small. So keep in mind, if you're gonna indulge in some alcohol, either you're going to be willing to pay the price and you're going to have a little extra here, or you're going to greatly decrease how much you do it and what your portion size is. So let's keep that in mind. Tip number 2, how is your food intake? Do you need to clean it up a little bit? Are you watching your portion sizes? I think that's what gets most of us, is we have just gotten in this country used to huge portions. That's what we expect when we go out to eat. If you look at a label on a box, the serving size is usually a lot smaller than what you're used to. If you have a bowl of cereal, I encourage you to pour it out, measure it. What do they say a serving size is? And then put that in your bowl. You're probably going to be greatly shocked that that portion size is a lot smaller than you think. So start paying attention to your portion sizes. Also, the typical cut down on the sugar, the processed foods, eat a lot more fruits and vegetables, increase your clean protein. Don't skip meals. I like the 80-20 rule. 80% of my diet is pretty clean, but the other 20% I've got a little bit of wiggle room, okay? So if you can kind of rein in your food intake and watch what you're eating, clean it up, you're gonna have less accumulating fat right here, okay? Tip number 3, build muscle, because if we have more muscle mass in our body, that's gonna burn more calories just at rest. So if you take a pound of fat, pound of muscle, pound of fat doesn't need a lot to maintain itself on your body. It's just going to hang out there. But if you have a pound of muscle on your body, that's what we call metabolically active tissue, and it needs calories to kind of sustain itself. So get more muscle on your body, and I'm talking lifting heavier weights. So if you're a weightlifter, by rep number 12, if you could keep going, those weights need to go up. Think about lifting heavier weights, and that's going to get more muscle mass on your body. Tip number 4, your cardio. I want you to increase your interval cardio work, okay? What that means is if you're a walker and you're used to, say, walking 30, 40 minutes a day, you're maybe gonna throw in a 30-second jog interval every few minutes, or you're gonna find a hill and you're gonna climb that. But we wanna do something where it gets your heart rate up for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, go back down to normal work, go up and down like that, okay, every few minutes. That will help you burn more calories and make your cardio workout that much more effective. Tip number 5, say goodbye to those traditional crunches and sit-ups, okay? They don't do a lot to build your abdominal wall as far as what's pulling everything in your internal organs in. Crunches and the sit-ups, they work the superficial abdominal muscle called the rectus abdominis. And it's great, we don't mind it being stronger, but we have a deep, deep layer called the transverse abdominis. And that's the deepest layer of your abdomen, your musculature in your abdomen. And all it does is it pulls all these internal organs back in, and it makes this area look smaller because you've now got a muscle layer that's stronger and it's pulling everything in where it needs to be. So we're thinking about planks, we're thinking about things where you're laying down on your back. I'm gonna show you real quick. Kind of what we call a supine position, but you're laying down. You're doing things like maybe alternating some leg raises, some alternating kicks there. Maybe you're taking your legs out and in. What I'm focusing on is I got to keep the top of my pelvis tilted back into the floor, and I got to hold all this in when I move. So my back is not arching off the floor. All right? So those are the kind of things that are going to help train that transverse abdominis, that deepest layer of your abdomen that's going to help you pull everything in. All right? Number 6, last tip. You gotta get used to pulling that navel in, your belly button in on a regular basis. That's also gonna activate that deep layer of your abdominal musculature and pull everything back in. We want that, okay? So try to remember, always pull your navel in, okay? Maybe you have to set little reminders on your phone. Maybe you've got to put little sticky notes around the house. But whatever it is, if you can remember to do that on a regular basis, this area gets smaller and your back's gonna feel better and you're gonna look better and you're gonna stand taller. So those are my 6 tips to help you decrease that belly. If I can help you out, get in touch with me, and I wish you a great day.